Hey guys, welcome to the Sim Racing Paddock. I'm William Marsh, and we are going to be test driving the new build for iRacing. So this new build actually comes with quite a bit of cool new features. We have a lot of content to drive. We have the new Subaru WRX STI RallyCross car. We have the Porsche 911 RSR GTE race car. And we also have Detroit Belle Isle Street Circuit, which just hosted the IndyCar race there. So I'm really excited to test this out. And we have a few minutes left in my download. So we can now take a look at some of these features. So we will look at the release notes in a minute. First off, let's talk about the Porsche 911 RSR. So this race car uses a 4-liter 6-cylinder boxer engine. In my opinion, it's one of the best sounding modern race cars right now. I mean, it's a glorious sound. We'll see if iRacing is able to capture that in the sim. So we have that. It has, sort of unusually for Porsche, it's a mid-engine, or it's a mid-engine car, so it's a little more forward placed compared to other Porsche cars, which in theory should make it a little more of a neutral handling car, because Porsche with their rear engine mounts are known to be on the more lively side. So let's see how this differs. And also, I've driven this in Assetto Corsa, and I believe it's in Race Room as well. It might be an older version in Race Room if I remember correctly, but we'll give it a test. And I was watching Sean Cole's stream earlier of him driving this at Belle Isle, and it looked pretty exciting. So I'm excited to test this out. So let's read a little bit about this background. The first mid-engine Porsche 911 is the RSR, and it features a 4-liter normally aspirated or isn't naturally aspirated NA that produces 510 horsepower. Purpose-built for racing, the cars race worldwide in the LMGTE category in series including IMSA, World Endurance Championship, and Le Mans. The 911 RSR is Porsche through and through, with its aggressive styling cues and familiar silhouette. Nice being self-aware there. The flat 6 engine literally screams at you when you accelerate out of corners, weighing in at a mere 1,243 kilograms or 2,740 pounds. The RSR is a well-balanced race car with massive brakes for unrivaled stopping power and a newly designed 6-speed sequential gearbox that allows for lightning changes up and down through the gears. The 911 RSR will be found in iRacing racing against its GTE rivals, including Ferrari and Ford. Should be interesting. I'm excited for this car. I'm a Porsche fan, I'll admit that, and I love the sound of this car. And gotta admit, this looks pretty freaking beautiful. Nice design. It is familiar for Porsche, so people looking for something different than the squashed up Beetle, you're gonna be a little disappointed, but hey, it's a Porsche. What do you expect? Next up, we have the Subaru WRX STI. And it's interesting, though, because one thing to note is the Red Bull Global RallyCross Championship folded this year. So for iRacing, that put them in a bit of a dilemma. But if you notice in the background and also on the banner, it's iRX now, iRacing Rallycross, instead of the GRX Global Rallycross. So it's interesting seeing that shift in branding, sort of distancing themselves from the Red Bull brand now. So yeah, I think it's a smart move from iRacing, and we'll see how it goes. And I think that will allow iRacing to take more creative liberties and maybe create more semi-fictional rallycross circuits. Hint it, maybe, hopefully. We'll see about that. But yeah, so this has a 2-liter Boxer 4 engine. So we get 2 horizontally opposed engined cars in this new build with a turbocharger, anti-lag, and launch control. Nice stuff. 900 newton meters or 665 pound-feet of torque at pretty low RPMs. Nice. Sort of goes in hand for the four-wheel drive. So this thing should rocket off the line pretty well. This has the 6-speed sequential gearbox as well. So, this has some interesting similarities to the Porsche, surprisingly. 3-plate clutch, nice. But yeah, so this is the first Subaru to make its way into iRacing, and hopefully it's not the last. Subaru has interesting touring cars, things like that, so who knows? But Subaru's pedigree is mainly in rally and by extension RallyCross, so I'm excited. One of my cars I drive on a regular basis is a Subaru Crosstrek, which is basically like a Subaru Impreza just kind of lifted, and the WRX is like a souped up Impreza. So yeah, sort of the cousin to my secondary driver car. So I'm excited to see how that is, and we'll definitely do some fun testing with that, get it a little slideways. And now the track. So here's something I'd like to ask your thoughts on in the comments. What did you think of the IndyCar races on Saturday and Sunday? I really enjoyed the Sunday one, to be honest. I enjoyed seeing Ryan Hunter-Reay win again. I think it's like his first win in 3 years. So it was cool to see him on top of the podium again, seeing all that passion for his racing. And it was interesting because also I am a fan of Alexander Rossi. So it was kind of bittersweet seeing Ryan win and him taking the win from Alexander. But I mean, yeah, Alexander has really no one to blame but himself. He just overcooked it, and I think it into turn 3. So start finish line, I think if I remember correctly, is like, so here's turn 1 to, all right, I forget exactly. We'll take a look at it, but yeah, it's interesting where this, I think, is one of the first real street circuits for the sim, for iRacing. I think technically Montreal is also a street circuit, but it's also mixed in with racetrack elements. I'm not certain though, don't quote me on that. But yeah, this looks like an exciting, fun circuit. Nice mix. We have some high-speed corners. Okay, I think around here is the start-finish line, because turn 1, turn 2, long straight, and then into turn 3. Yeah, Long Beach is a tech circuit. Well, hopefully someday it'll come to light. But yeah, this is the first fully released circuit, and my installation just finished, so that's nice. So yeah, seeing Detroit fully finished, fully scanned, I'm excited to see that. The maps usually don't have water on it, right? It might. I don't know for certain. But yeah, Detroit, Belle Isle, if I remember correctly, it's like in the middle of an island. So yeah, there's water all around it. So it'll be interesting to see how iRacing implemented it. So let's quickly, before jumping into a car, skim over the changelog, because there are a couple interesting tidbits. So the release, as mentioned, it has a Porsche 911 RSR, Subaru WRX STI, Detroit Belle Isle Grand Prix circuit, and interesting assist added, pit exit line, because I guess a lot of people, sometimes they'll unsafely enter the track out of the pits, so they felt it was necessary to add the pit exit line assist. That's just like an assisted line exiting the pits. And yeah, that could help. In the new beta user interface, you can set up custom heat races. So you can now do customized heat races and hosted sessions online, I guess. Dynamic track updates. We'll get to that in a minute. And then self-shadowing and bloom lighting effects. If you saw some of the posts in the iRacing Facebook page, we got to see some of the new visual effects, and it really adds an extra level of depth into the sim. And then new option to download updates if you are downloading, if you want to possibly see if that will speed up your downloads. I think it's an opt-in, only randomly assigned to 10% of users. I'm one of those 10%. They or I just checked it out. I just downloaded 4 gigabytes pretty quickly, so I'm happy with it so far. I didn't really see any issues, at least. And then, as mentioned, iRacing beta interface improvements, where you can, or let's see, there was what they mentioned about creating custom heat races. Apparently now you can also do predefined car classes. So use enable car classes option when creating hosted session. So you can work on those presets, which is pretty nice. Time attack, making your specific position easier. I've never really experimented with the beta UI yet, but it's interesting. For new members, users should no longer be prompted for their cell phone or birthday. Interesting. I kind of liked the birthday thing, so it at least would give you a minimum age requirement or something. Patrick, I believe it's pronounced Belle Isle. So Belle Isle, that's what they were saying in the broadcast, at least. Here's some more elaboration on the connection quality. The S on that meter on the top right, where it shows like simulation time. So how synced you are with the server. And I guess they are trying to do like refine that and make it better so people can have more stable connections or something. So, or also I think this is just a bit of a guide to try to make sure people can get decent connections. So if you are having some issues, you can like reduce the amount of cars that are visible. I guess that can tell the server to render less cars at a specific time and do less wear on the server or on your connection to the server. Okay, here's a cool one. Dynamic track. The reported track temperature will now be dynamically updated throughout a session. So that was an interesting one because grip levels and the rubber could be carried over between some sessions, but the track temperature would reset. But over the course of a race, and especially throughout sessions during a day, like going from like practice to a qualifying or warm up to a race, then the temperature would reset, even though with the cars driving, it could raise the temperature. So that's cool to see that extra touch in realism. Custom heat racing, we touched on that. We also touched on the driving aid, and thank you to Roger L for that donation. Thank you very much. So custom heat racing, driving aid, we talked about that, but the custom heat racing is not perfect yet. There are a few known issues that they're working on. Track usage state does not carry over between each session. So we were just talking about track, the rubber temperature and everything carrying over. Apparently this will not carry over in hosted heat events. It will only carry over between the official sessions. And then you must enter a description in order to save the custom heat race. So, interesting, but at least it's working okay. And here's something that is just kind of blowing my mind in this attention to detail. Dirt racing. When dirt is thrown, some water loss will now occur as it flies through the air, making the dirt drier where it lands. That's kind of remarkable that they can simulate that, but also a little painful that some other parts aren't simulated. Where, for example, like tire flat spawning and stuff isn't really simulated too well. Thank you, RJGTC01, for subscribing. But yeah, it's pretty awesome that this stuff gets simulated, but it also makes it all that more painful that some of the fundamental parts in iRacing still need to be improved. Visual effects. Adjustments have made to skid parameters to make them more accurate based on the surface type and the parameters of the surface type, such as wetness. Or I would use the word moisture rather than wetness. But yeah, it's interesting. So basically the gist of it is they're saying that if the surface is muddier, then you will have more resistance. If it's dry, you will be more likely to skid, I think. Updated grass particle effects for skids. I saw some of this. This looks pretty cool. New off-track grass particle effects been added, so those two go hand in hand. Smoke puffs, that's nice. Like smoke puffs, those got a little, they didn't really look the best earlier on. Here's a cool one. Tire-specific tire marks will be created on tires' soft surfaces. Cool addition. It looks to work pretty well, at least, from what I saw earlier on. And then Bloom, now available as a graphics option for iRacing. So, another thing to make things a little more realistic, like the lights pop out more. Shadows, they've been revamped, make them more realistic. Shadows casted on more objects, including like stands, more realistic. Trees will now sway in the wind. That's going to be interesting. So we will see how that looks later on. Audio, bug fix, pit crew, yeah, just no longer visible for non-driver teammates. Don't have to worry about that. Paint kit. 2 new sponsors have been added. Nope, not SimRacingPaddock. I need to talk to them about that someday. Maybe we can have a SimRacingPaddock logo available for iRacing liveries. Who knows? Telemetry improvements. So, if you like using something like Motec or, I guess, Logitech ARX tool, I believe McLaren has a telemetry tool that works with iRacing. They have that available. Peripherals. Latest Fnatic API has been added to support wheel displays. This sounds like it could be in anticipation for the Podium wheelbase, because the Podium wheelbase has that display on the base, so I think that is what this might be in anticipation for. And then easy anti-cheat, they updated that. So basically, the rest of those fixes and updates are like straightforward. They increased some of the airflow for the Delar IR18 and some improvements for that. Balance of power adjustments for some cars, and that's largely about it. Besides, like, the cars have improved, except one cool thing I noticed is that the Radical SR8, one of the gems of iRacing that hasn't really been used, it is now free. It is a free car now, so that is really cool. When I've done it races with it, I've really enjoyed it. Wish there was more participation. So who knows? This might encourage participation for the Radical, which is a great car, great sounding. But enough about that. Let's do some driving, guys. Let's do some driving. So 1 second, we will start off, of course, let's go with the Porsche, because Porsche looks like such a fun car. And it should be Detroit Grand Prix at Belle Isle. One configuration, just Belle Isle. And then they have morning, afternoon, and late afternoon for time of day. Let's do a morning drive. Also, one thing to note is that I just did this fresh install of iRacing. So this is a brand new, fresh install of iRacing. So I am going to need to reconfigure my controls real quick. But that should be a very, very quick change, except... okay, it is on the wrong screen. So we will need to fix that real quick. Sorry about that. For some reason, my iRacing is on the wrong screen. It is on my left monitor, and I don't think I can really drive well like that. So we will fix that real quick. Hey, Victor. Hello after my holiday and extra bleep week without access to PC. Well, sounds like you have access to your PC again, so welcome back. Glad to have you back. So we have to switch our screen. So we will do that real quick, and I think the way we do that is we go into the graphics configuration, and I want to say we go to display 1, auto configuration. And boom, boom, boom. That should be good. And then test car on track. Fingers crossed it goes into the middle. And open VR headset detected. Start. Nope. Is my Rift? No, my Rift is not plugged in. So why are they detecting it? And then let's turn on game capture for iRacing. Turn off display capture. And then we will maximize in a second. I'm going to move my stream monitor over to the left side, because that might help me read the chat a little easier. Make that full screen, configure controls. Almost set, guys, almost on the track, and this should be exciting. So, boom. Return to center. Thank you for Wondersh for subscribing. Thank you very much. 900 degrees of rotation, center position, throttle. One of the things I'm not a fan of in iRacing is that the controls are totally independent from what you get in any other sim. It works as completely different calibration system, which is okay, but at the same time, you lose out on that idea of having this calibration. So you always have to calibrate in everything. So I know it's nitpicky. It's a bit of a pain, but it's life. So let's do that. We don't need a handbrake for this, but for cars coming up. Starter. So we will test this puppy out, and I don't want to cap at 84 because I was noticing I have troubles with that at times. Okay, so Belle, we are live. Yeah, Marcel, that's what I was talking about. They read the raw input, but I prefer the DI view personally. Hold on. I need to tone down the force feedback a bit. Because I just realized... oh, it saved some of my settings for my system refresh. That's nice. So I know some people are going to ask, because I saw them ask on Sean Cole's stream, what are those purple dots for? And that's for traction loss. They will detect traction loss for the tires, and I think it's some for the left, some for the right. So, initial thoughts on the sound of this car. I'm liking them. They sound pretty nice. I've never driven Belle before, so right now I'm just sort of taking it easy. Okay, wheel spin. Yeah. And like, so what I was complaining about with the way this works are very low sound for you. So if you notice, I'm not getting full throttle. So I'm just gonna back out of here. I'm gonna back out of this. And I need to recalibrate my pedals, because like, this is an issue really in a way specifically to these Heusinkveld pedals though. So because these work on load cells, you're only using a select portion. You're using a small portion of, say, like the load cell's potential, and it's in order to make it linear, which for any other sim racing title, it works just fine. But for iRacing, it causes this problem. So we have to push, and I push slightly less than full throttle, and then slightly less than fully off, and do that. And then brake fully. brake is the only one that really works okay, because you basically get the full load cell. But for here, feel that clutch engagement zone. So you literally have to add dead zones on both ends, and that's the frustrating part. And then for the handbrake, there we go. Now we get full throttle, full brake, and full clutch. So we should be good to go here. And then sound, let's go to there. That should be good sound for you, I think. And check, check, check. It's okay. From my telemetry, it looks like it's okay. So, driving with this car, from what I was hearing from Sean Cole, I was watching his stream earlier, and it sounds like this was feeling similar to the Assetto Corsa version, because Assetto Corsa has the 2017 version of this car. I believe this is either 2017 or 2018 version of this car, but I think those are similar enough that you don't really have to worry about it. But yeah, Belle Isle, interesting circuit. So far from what I've driven, a very little bit. It's interesting though, because you can see some of the factories in the background. You can see like a smokestack from a manufacturing plant, I guess. Very lively car. So even though this is a mid-engine car, it is lively. Whoa, okay, and those brakes, they work. Whoa, wow, okay. Very inclined to oversteer on braking. So this car does not like trail braking. Okay, so I think here's the start-finish line for 3. Trying to remember from what I saw in the IndyCar race. Whoa, dang it. So, okay, this car doesn't like trail braking. We've learned that. And will get light on like flat out throttle. So keep that in mind. So yeah, here on this straightaway, that was where Alexander Rossi just completely blew his braking point for this. And he went off track there. I believe if he kept his cool, there could have been a good battle for the lead. I think there was potential there. Rossi and Ryan Hunter-Reay, they are heck of they both are really great drivers. Yeah, this is my first time ever driving in Belle Isle. There might be an Assetto Corsa mod, is what Low Sound is saying. So that would be cool to see. Whoa, 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 okay. So I think that portion was where... Oh, you have to have, like, laser focus in this track. I can't really imagine, like, just going balls to the wall in the IndyCar at this track. It's just insane. But, yeah, this is a lot of fun. I'm enjoying it. And this car, the interior sound sounds pretty good. I am going to wait to hear the exterior sounds until I sort of get in a little bit into a rhythm. Whoa. But yeah, I think I like the sound of this car. It does sound like a really intense flat 6. that sound that we've a lot of us have grown to love. But this corner is so tricky. It reminds me in some ways of Long Beach, the final like 3 corners, where it's that sort of sweeper, and then boom, you have that hairpin. This one is a little tight, a little tighter, a little more technical, but still lots of fun. Thanks, Skywilk. I will take a look at it later. So here, ease in. Whoa, 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 we've got too tight. Ay, ay, ay. Turn 2 is a beast in this car. So gotta be careful in turn 2. Maybe swing out more and... yeah. Yeah, this track is interesting because it has an interesting mix of long straights and then flowing corners. But it's interesting though, because if you think about it, sometimes the tracks where you can't get a good flow in, those can be some of the ones that are more rewarding to race on, because that's an extra challenge. But also I'm like wrecking every other corner. I think I've yet to make a clean lap in this. But yeah, here's this long, semi-sweepy straightaway. And then, boom. Harder brake into a right turn. So, thoughts on the new shadows. I'm not really paying attention too much. I'm paying attention to the track. But it looks like there is extra depth, at least. So it would have been interesting if I stopped for a minute and I looked at the trees possibly swaying in the wind, but it does seem like there is an extra layer of depth. Running at an oval track, that might be one of the easiest ways to really take a look at the shadow casting, because shadow casting is more in the stands. So looking at the stands, looking at the shadows cast in the stands, it's a little less of the track, more of the stands. But we were just driving past the front straightaway, driving past the stands, and it looked like the shadows cast there were, like, it did have a little more depth at least, which is nice. But iRacing generally has had pretty darn good shadows and good draw distance, which I think is partly due to it being an older engine and less graphically intensive. So yeah, also note that when you are turning up the shadows in iRacing, then that will cause more of a drain on your frame rate. So keep that in mind. But I wonder if that update is kind of in anticipation for the day to night update coming later this year. So there is the day to night update coming later this year, and we are going to have more dynamic shadows and shadows adjusting. Oh, because consider the way iRacing is right now, we have all of these static shadows, and since the time of day does not adjust, you don't have to worry about shadows moving. So they need to create more dynamic shadow mapping and things that adjust around the objects. Kind of makes sense that they need to revamp the shadows. So maybe they're doing this in preparation for the next update. Hey Colin, how's it going? Whoa, that was a little over-eager on that curb. But this is looking good so far. I'm starting to develop a flow for this track, and I'm liking it. I'm liking it. As I almost overshoot that corner. And then brake. Whoa, whoa. Okay, okay. So let's hear these external sounds, because I'm curious. So let's go back to our lap. We'll go to this. So we only made one clean lap of Belle Isle, dang. But we have this out lap at least. Sounds okay. I don't think it's as brutal. Let's do an experiment though. Let's try something. I want to see how we can get this a little more raw. So here, let's turn up the gain a little bit. Yeah, it feels like it's just a little underexposed. Or not underexposed, but sound-wise. But yeah, it's okay. But interesting, you could see the rubber getting tossed off the tires there. Why am I not playing with Nicky Team? Because I wasn't aware of him playing in an open session or something like that. Is he in a session right now or something? Any tree swing? Let's see if I can check. Because with the way it works, so. Info. What's the wind like? 2-mile-an-hour winds. I'm looking like here. I don't really see any sway. Here. No real sway or anything. But, yeah. Apparently, some people were saying there's sway at Watkins Glen. But here, I'm not noticing any sway. There's my car. I'm liking the sound. Not my favorite version of the sound for this car, but it's okay. It's definitely serviceable. But yeah, I think this is pretty good. Interesting, you still see like the visual artifacting right there on there, but you're not really going to be looking at that. Yeah, turn up the wind to see the sway. So I might do that on the next test. So, I like this. I think this works pretty well. Interesting, though. I guess that's like a visual glitch or something. Just seeing all those marbles getting tossed off. It seems a little overdone, but... yeah, or it could just be I'm off the racing line and it's simulating marbles off. But, yeah, so that's a quick run-through of Belle Isle. And... let's see what else there is. But I'm enjoying this car. It's a lot of fun. It's a little tricky. A little bit. But I think it is easier than some other cars. I think it is slightly easier to drive than the other Porsche on iRacing. I think it's like the 991 Cup car. I think this one is slightly easier. It feels like it has a lot of grip. Until it doesn't. But, yeah, this car is a blast. So, let's jump into another car and see how this goes. So, turn on display capture. But, yeah, I like that so far. I think it works pretty well. Hey, do you know where I can look for Season 3 schedule? So, it's right here. Season 3 schedule. It's on the iRacing homepage. We can take a quick look. lots of different series. So yeah, the schedule is now available on the iRacing.com home members page. So you can find that in the forums. Lots of different series, lots of oval series, lots of road. Let's check something though. I want to check real quick. So yeah, there's the fun series. So Carburetor Cup, Dallara Dash, Dallara 12. Or is it now a multi-class? Is this multi-class? So it has a 2011 IndyCar and DW12. That's going to be weird. Pickup Cup uses the 2013 Silverado. Industry Fahrten. That uses the GTE class at the Nürburgring Nordschleife. 3-lap race. Could be fun. And then, so, yep. This is no longer called the Red Bull RallyCross Series. It is now called the iRacing RallyCross Series. And Daytona, Lucas Oil Raceway, Iowa, Daytona, Phoenix, Sonoma. So it looks like they run those six tracks twice over the course of the season. So yeah. Well, look at David, I'd say look at the schedule, find what you want, and we can figure it out. So the Radical is now free and is moved to fixed setup. I might want to take a look at that later on. That sounds exciting. So hold on. Is Nicky Team just that his name? Is he in a server right now? That's what I'm wondering. I'll send him a friend request. I've never talked to him, though, so I don't really know him. So we can add him to studied, and that should show us where he is. I think. So it looks like he's not in a server right now. So while we are are seeing about this, servers for subs, okay. I am subbed to him, but I'm a little preoccupied, also doing my own thing. So let's try out this Subaru. So Subaru, I like the Daytona RallyCross circuit. That's one of my favorites. Also, Sonoma's another great one. But yeah, I was mentioning earlier that my family has a Subaru that I enjoy driving. So it's like, okay, get to drive that. So let's see how this goes. Something interesting I'm noticing is it seems like iRacing is a little faster to load this time. It might be placebo. But it seems like it's a little quicker to load. Or at least boot up the loading screen and then loading car and track. But I think this specific driving in Rallycross will be able to see the new tire mark effects. So I'm excited to see that. So David, one of the ways that the iRacing Championship works is it will drop your, you have 2 drop weeks. So you don't need all 12 tracks, but you would need 10 to compete, I believe, if I remember correctly. So 10 tracks, and you can compete, I think. Oh man, I like the sound of this car. I am liking the sound. But yeah, that new banner, iRX instead of GRX. But yeah, David, theoretically, if you start off in the rookie class, then you can just work on the start off, and for rookie class, you have everything for free. Did they change this around? Hold on a sec. Little trouble with the handbrake. You can see the puffs of smoke in the background. So I want to check something real quick. So it's saying tire marks are simulated now on surfaces. Yeah, you can kind of see the tire marks a little bit. But I thought right here was when it changed into asphalt. But now it's not? So they changed the circuit, I guess. Interesting. They might have made something of that in the change note, but I didn't see anything about. Was it always like that? I am liking this car, though. This car's fun. And I think this has a little more depth to the sound that you don't really get with the Volkswagen that you get for free. I think this is definitely going to be my new favorite RallyCross car. Or I'm used to the long circuit, but I thought that the dirt didn't go that far. But I could just be mixing up. Whoa, that's a nice slide. Whoa, that's loose. So let me check something. So apparently there's a fun series. Apparently the tack lights aren't working. Yeah, we will take a look at the tire marks. So 1 sec, I'm going to finish off this lap, do the tire marks, and then we will take a look and see about running a race, because apparently there's an interesting race that runs these cars on a street circuit, or not street circuit, but road course. I think they're doing Brands Hatch. So let's take a look. Hold on. So let's try this out. So we will go to lap 4. Go to the gearbox camera, I think. So we're going onto the dirt now. So you can kind of see them right here. I guess this surface isn't really a great one for it. But you can see the tire marks right there. I guess because it's a rougher surface, you can't really see them too well. Or something like that. But it looks like there is more detail in the dirt textures. I was checking some YouTuber earlier, and you could see a lot more detail. Like, I think there and there you can see the tire marks. And then there and there when I was over on that lap. Could be more visible on grass. But, oh, that jump. Then, boom. Interesting. You can see, I think, some tracks there where you had a lot of weight depressed, maybe. Or is that just cracks? So there. You can see some detail there and then bounces up and then settles down again. It's tough though because this surface is so rough, so you can't really tell too well. But I think on the dirt oval tracks it's a little easier to see. But yeah, I think in 6 minutes the next race, as I was mentioning, is starting. So let's check that out. Turn on display capture. And we can go to race now. So, yep, 13th week Simkhana, as they're calling it. Have 8 people signed up. Now it is 9. So this should be, I think, just a fun series. Does it say? "20 laps. Standing start." Okay. Usually it says like fun, but or sessions, let's see. Interesting. I don't think it's going to be an official race, but it would be funny if it was. I wonder if it's because of my because I have the Oculus sensor still plugged in. That's why it keeps on saying, "Oh yeah, you have your headset detected," because it shouldn't be. I wonder. Let's try something. I don't think this will be a good way to stretch triple screens. No, it's not. I'm excited to see how this goes because it's funny. You usually just have these slide. We'll see how this, or how well it performs on a track. Wow, that torque steer.
Car right. Clear.
Slide the corner.
Right side.
Oh.
Car right. Clear.
This has to be a fun race. Handbrake. This is going to be a lot of fun, guys. So let's do an experiment. We're going to drive through here. And we'll see if next lap we have those tire marks. Sliding definitely not faster, but it is fun. So let's check here. Not really seeing any tire marks. Maybe I have to pump up graphics settings. I don't know off the top of my head. $52.08, it's time to beat. Oh, race about to start. Okay, never mind. Don't really have time to beat. Let's check something though. I think it was lap 2. No, we were at... So here. Well, I guess you can kind of see those tire marks. So go to gearbox. Yeah, you can definitely see those. Not perfect, but hey, those are something. Just blazing a trail through there. So hey, more detail at least. So let's see how this goes. One second, let's check something. Hold on. And now, finally, IndyCar big tires should leave bigger marks too. Yes. That's one of the nice things, because it'll be relative to the tires. Not just, like, say, oh, it's a tire, so it's going to leave a mark. Ah, stop and go. Come on. Punch it! Oh, I love the drive off in this car. You just feel the car rotate. And it doesn't really feel like it's out of control. It just feels like you're going through a fun slide like that. That was intense. Well, a little wide. I don't think we're going to do well this race. Oh, Robin's racing. We're going to wear out these tires. That's one of the most interesting insults I've ever seen. What a nugget! That's kind of funny. So let's check something. Oh yeah, that grass texture. Seeing the grass tore up. So here. So you see the difference. That's just like, that adds quite a bit to the immersion there. Which of the new cars I like better? I'm gonna have to go with the Porsche. I like the way that Porsche feels personally. Hold on a second. I was gonna adjust some black box stuff. So
Okay, well,
there we go. That should work. So 20 lap race. And they're starting me from the pole. Okay. Been nice knowing you guys. Rest in peace. Come on. Let's get this party started. But yeah, Marcel. Oh, man. I'm curious to see how the R Factor 2 Porsche is.
green, green, green.
Well, yeah, Marcel, I'd love to talk to you about doing a preview of it in the future. This thing has so much low-end torque. Oh, dang it, off track. Oh, shoot. Not good, not good.
The next car's the leader.
Well, we can hope he makes a mistake. Because I'll admit he's a better driver than me. Whoa, 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 whoa. Okay, that was close.
Clear on the left.
Oh!
Car on your left. Clear.
Let's just goof off, have a little bit of fun right now. We don't have to worry about incidents. We're gonna have to get, alright, slow down a bit.
They say you cut the course. You'll have to slow down and give up the time gained.
Had to give up a lot of time.
Clear on the left.
Oh! I was on the far right there. I couldn't really do anything about that. I guess a good thing I have chat off right now. Struggling. I can tell I have some suspension damage.
Got about 5 laps of fuel. Car on your left. Keep to the right.
Hold on a sec.
Clear. Left side. Clear on the left. Left side. Clear. Clear on the left.
So you're kidding me.
Car on your left. Stay on the right.
I did not touch him. I didn't touch him. He just got loose.
Clear.
But we have to pit. Unsafe pit entrance. Okay. Alrighty then. Go figure. But I guess by default, you don't have enough fuel to make the race. Go figure. Coffee break. Because 7.5 gallons is 15 laps. This is a 20-lap race. Everyone's gonna have to pit. Now is everyone gonna make that same mistake I did? So we just gotta take it easy. Or did they... Yeah, it's... On a full tank, you can't make it. Everyone's gonna have to stop. Whoa. So this is gonna be an interesting race. So let's just take it easy, and I think we can still get a top 5 out of this. Interesting choice for week 13, but it's fun. We'll put it that way.
The lead is pitting now.
Yep, leader, third place is in the pits. But it's so funny, though, because this car is not meant to be on this track, like in the regular configuration. I would love to see a RallyCross version of Brands Hatch. That would be a great option. So here should be 7th place for us. Oh, that was close. That's as close as you can get.
Car on your left. Still there. Clear. The lead is pitting now. You got 10 laps to go. Right side.
Whoa.
Clear on the
That was a
right.
total dive bomb.
Car on your left. Clear. Car right. Clear. They say you cut the course. You'll have to slow down and give up the time gained.
This is getting interesting. He's going to make some mistakes, though. I'm calling it. He's going to make some mistakes. I might make more mistakes, but he's going to make some. Whoa, somebody's doing donuts.
You've got a slow car on the right.
This is descending into madness. Well, that's 6th place for me. First and second at the pit within like 2 laps, I think. Whoa, Nelly. Nice thing about this car is you don't get stuck in the kitty litter.
You have about 5 laps of fuel left. You'll need to stop for more fuel.
Seriously? Guess I didn't stop at the right time. I need to pick a different button. I have it right on my toggle switch, the button to change and select. There we go. I wasn't going to lose a spot at all for that.
The leader's pitting now.
Well, somebody just dumped the leader. That's interesting.
You've got 2 laps to go. Right side. Still there. Hold your line. Still there. Hold your line. Clear on the right. Left side.
I'm going to let him by.
White flag. 1 more lap to go. You're in 5th.
Little lock up there. Line them up, boys. Line them up.
Alright, there's the checkered flag. Great job. You did
Oh,
really well.
man. That was a bit of a workout there. Oh, I just got killed. That guy just... Okay. I don't know, clue. So, Samuel Smith 9. So, something happened here. So, okay, he got dumped by... He got dumped by Steve. And then this guy... Whoa! Okay. Okay, then. That's why the leader got taken out. Let's go on board. Actually, the gyro. This should be good. Boom! The dude got freaking Scott speeded. One more from the cockpit. From the GoPro camera. You can just hear that guy. Boom. That's week 13, guys. That is week 13. I have no clue what happened there, but that was interesting. I'll put it that way. That was interesting. Youth Esport Test Series. I am too young for that, so I am not... I'm too old for that, I mean. So I don't think that's going to go. So let's see what is actually going on. GTE at Road Atlanta. Carb Cup. The Radical at Imola, but I do not have Imola. MX5 Cup at Lime Rock. That's going to be insanity, though. iRacing RallyCross Series. That starts in 15 minutes. GT at Road Atlanta. I think that would be a fun race. Get to race against the Ferrari and Ford. Except we need to download all that. I just realized you aren't seeing anything that I'm doing. My bad. So we are currently downloading some cars and tracks. So we're going to run GTE at Road Atlanta. I'm not the best at Road Atlanta, but I think I can hold my own. It is a... how long of a race? So it looks like it'll be about 20 minutes, maybe. But yeah, I think this would be a good way to end things off. Do the Porsche at Road Atlanta. And then I think I'm going to finally get to building the GT Omega cockpit today. So I will try doing a test drive maybe today or tomorrow of the GT Omega cockpit. Should be fun stuff. Man, it is getting hot today. At least in the garage, I should say. That's one of the reasons I'm not going to stream too long because, let's see. Let's see what the weather is right now. Hey, John, how's it going? It is a lot of fun. Very grippy. Feels surprisingly similar to the Assetto Corsa version, which I think is a decent thing. The GTE and Assetto Corsa is one of the better cars in AC, so if it's like that, I'm okay with it. But yeah, once R Factor 2 either releases their car or they give me a preview access, I'll do a comparison. Because a comparison comparing iRacing to Assetto Corsa to R Factor 2 to, I think, Race Room. I think that would be a good shootout, all things considered. I hear a lot of Porsches, I think. And there's one. Oh, we gotta change the shift, my bad. Change the gear shifter. No H-pad. So I haven't driven the Ferrari or the BMW. So I can't really speak for that. Wait. Do I not have the pit speed limiter on? Could have sworn I mapped the pit speed limiter. I guess I didn't. Headlight flash. Why not? There we go. Pit speed limiter. Oh! Go. Okay, you can't go flat through there. It gets a little light downhill. Race grids in 217, so at least we can get a feel for a few corners before dropping out. Little early on the brake, but yeah, this car, it hates trail braking from what I'm seeing. Road Atlanta is a great track. Whoa, okay. Okay, we have a minute left, so let's have some fun!
They say you cut the course. You'll have to slow down and give up the time gained.
Wrecked.
Your car has too much damage. We've got to fix it.
Let's watch this on the replay, though. You can see the new effects. Just like the dirt getting tossed up. Nice touch. Nice touch. I never drove a sports car GT. That was a little before my time, to be honest, because I think I was 5 years old when it came out. But yeah, I think for an iRacing endurance race, I might want to field a car with the Porsche. Once I like get it all dialed in and figure out how to drive it properly. So, yeah, I think that'd be a fun thing to look into. Hey, Chris, how's it going? So, if any of you guys are interested in running an endurance race for Team SRP, shoot me an email or talk to me in the Discord or something like that. Yes, Rogers. SCGT was one of the first racing titles made by Image Space Incorporated, if not the first. And basically, it was a predecessor to R Factor. And also a predecessor to like F1 Challenge 9902. This is going to be a big field. 27th starting position. So let's just get a feel for this car first. Belle has been released, and we tested it a minute ago. All right, or we tested it early in the stream. I liked Belle Isle. It was my first time driving the track, so I didn't really know the flow too well yet. That's the only thing.
Car on your left. Stay on the right.
Gonna brake early.
Clear on the left.
Let the Porsche by. So SCGT would have been around the time when the Microsoft Sidewinder force feedback wheel came out. So yeah, I think it is roughly early days of force feedback. So let's see, do I recognize any people in this? I do not recognize any names. Okay. So looks like this is a rolling start. ActLab Force RS. That's old school. I like the detail in this model though. I guess I don't have rear view set up though. So I just had the virtual mirror. I bet if I turned on mirrors, that display on the right would work.
Green, green, green.
Well, that Ferrari didn't get going. Let's just take it easy. Avoid the mess that's inevitably going to be in turn 1.
Left side. Clear.
Yep, 2 Porsches off.
You've got a slow car on the left. Go right. Clear on the left. Car on your left. Car on your left. 2 wide. Stay on the right. Go right. Stay on the right. You've got a slow car on the left. Clear on the left. Car stop on the left. Go right. You've got a slow car on the right.
Well, that's an eventful first lap.
Car right. Slow car ahead. You've got a slow car on the right. Still there. Go left. Go
Let's just
right.
take the 1X instead of hitting them.
Right side. Clear.
That was eventful.
Car on your
Oh my god! Seriously? Seriously? Did he just... There was no way you could think you can make that corner.
time gained.
There's no way. There's no way you can make a corner braking that late. And that far on the inside. Week 13, guys. Week 13. We'll take a look at that replay after the race, but yeah, I can't think of something. Car's tracking straight. I'm not gonna pit right now. I mean, it's only a 15-minute race, guys. I'm not gonna worry about it. I don't know if that was engine smoke or if that... I don't know what was going on with this car. Little cut there, but we got away with it. Down 200 kilometers an hour. I'm just braking very conservatively there for now. We're okay. Whoa, little wide. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Okay, now we're gonna pit.
You're going the wrong way.
Shh.
Your car has too much damage. We've got to fix it.
Unsafe pit entrance. It's okay. This race could have been a lot worse. And I might take that back. Roger, yes and no. This is week 13, which means safety rating and I rating aren't affected. These are just fun events, aka this is chaos. So it's sort of series put together to show off the new content and everything. So people drive a lot crazier than they do normally. They're willing to push the envelope a lot more. I've driven the Radical a lot over the years, and I like it, but I haven't driven it since the new update.
Left side. Clear. Left side.
Jimmy, it's coming soon.
Car on your left.
That's like,
Still there. Hold
soon.
on.
Trademarked.
Car right.
Whoa!
Clear.
Seriously? I'm kind of at a loss for words right there. I was as far left as I could go. I mean, literally, I think. I was like as far left as I could go, and I just get turned into. He had an entire track to the right of him. I mean, literally, he had the entire front straightaway. Wow. Welcome to week 13. Yep, that's about right. Who knows? if they start taking each other out during the race, I might get a top 20. Six minutes left. Tall order for a top 20, but who knows. Oh yeah, Jimmy, congrats on 100,000. It's awesome to see you get to that mark, man. You're truly one of the most passionate sim racers I know, and it's awesome, like, seeing the enthusiasm, the passion you put into your videos, and just your, like, desire to, like, race. It's awesome to see that, and shown through the quality in your work. And now I'll shut up. Because I almost went off the track. But yeah, it's crazy because we've been friends for what, like 3-4 years? I mean, like back when you were like a teeny tiny YouTuber. But yeah, I'd like to maybe like talk to you about the idea of doing like a co-op discussion thing soon, if you're interested. Like similar to what Sim Racing Perspectives did, maybe like a video like interview and stuff. I think that could be a lot of fun. And while I'm talking, we're up to 21st place. That's funny. Yeah, I wish I could drive as well as Jimmy. I mean, I'll give credit. Jimmy is a better racer than I am. But yeah, I wish I could have run like the 24-hour Le Mans in that race with you in the future, maybe. Trying to give him room. Come on, go ahead.
Clear.
This is such a difficult track for blue flags because there's so much going on. I mean, there's a long back straight, but everywhere else it's just such a flow that you have to be in the rhythm and be in the groove for. Diverting hesitantly. That's a good way to put it. We only have a few minutes left in the race, though. We're close to the top 20. Oh, new PB for the race. Whoa! My God. Okay. The car just shot out from under me. This car is so intense. Also, I bet I have some right rear damage. Oh man, Billy, this car is a beast. Oh, this is scary a bit, to be honest. But I've had a heck of a race, and I'm still in 20th, so we did break the top 20. So it's interesting. I've actually been talking with a couple real race car drivers about doing like an instructional series. So I might try to get in touch with them again and see how that is. But also the tough part is it's the middle of the racing season, so those drivers might also be busy. Oh, that's such a tricky corner though for me. Oh, got a little loose there. Bad habits, what we're good at. And it's kind of funny though, because in a lot of my reviews, people are like, dude, you're a bad driver. And it's like, well, I never claimed to be a good driver, so your point is ... Mr. Maya, congratulations. I bet you will enjoy it. I'm just a driver that loves the hobby. Yeah, Cristobal, that's one of the things I was annoyed with. I talked about it a little bit in my first drive with this car at Belle Isle, where it's like it's close, but it still seems off. Because this car, it's one of my favorites. It's one of my favorite race cars of this modern era, because it really is like a beautiful car that sounds awesome, in my opinion. It's like an awesome sounding car in real life. It's like brutal. It sounds like demon bees in the best possible way. But at the same time, it's something where it sounds downright tame in comparison. Bozzy's videos are freaking amazing. I love like 19 Bozzy 92's videos. I could watch those all day. Especially like the BMW Z4 GT3. But there we go. We get a top 20 there.
All right, there's the ticket flag. Okay, we'll get 'em next time.
Jimmy. Eek. Hold on a sec. Car porn, bro. Car porn. So let's take a look. I want to see what happened first lap. So race. First lap. And this first lap was nuts. Look at all these cars. They're flying off the track. 4 wide down the hill. 4 wide down the hill. And one car's just there. 2 cars going way off. Now people are starting to get into a bit of a rhythm. 3 wide into this corner. The Ferrari is getting turn. We're driving in. I decided to take this 1X instead of trying to force an issue. This is week 13, J Noble. This is week 13. So now we are right here. We're drafting off of this Porsche. And I think it's this yellow car. Either yellow or purple car. If it's a purple car, that's absolute insanity. That is going to just break way late. So I lock up, admittedly. I make a mistake, but this guy in the purple Porsche? I don't even know. I legit don't even know, like, what the flip was he thinking? It's like, what? So let's watch this again. So, let's go back to this Porsche and go inside. So, I'd say braking point for this car would be at around that Arai sign, or Arai, or however you pronounce it. Maybe a little after. But he's turning, but he's just totally locked up. I mean, nothing to say beyond that. So, I mean, I admit, I lock up, I brake a little late, but I still scrub off well than enough speed. And I was looking in my virtual mirror, and you could tell that there were no cars near me. There were no cars near me, and I had the inside line to make that corner. But then that guy just flies in. I mean, yeah. So, not really much we could do beyond that. But then, let's go, where is it? I want to say it was like, what lap was it? The next wreck we had. Right here. So, okay, so that's what happened. I didn't think it was just a guy turning into me. So this guy, Lemal, he turns and turns the other guy into me. Okay. That's a little more acceptable of an accident, but it's like, still, you don't really know what it is. It's like, ultimately, it's a racing deal, but yeah, that's hard racing. It's, man. For the pricing model for iRacing, or, oh, that's like retaliation right there, I think. Let's see. Nope, he spins the same guy again. Okay. I mean, really? I don't even know. But for the pricing model, I would love to see something similar to what Race Room does. Race Room has their sort of, they have their bundles. So they would have like a GTE bundle, a GT3 bundle, Le Mans prototype bundle, and things like that that give you that expansion. So I think it would be kind of cool to see iRacing do, where they do the Le Mans bundle, which would be the 3 GTE cars, the 2 Le Mans prototypes, and Le Mans, maybe Spa, Sebring, for maybe like $50. I know they would be taking a bit of a loss on that, but I think that would be awesome to see iRacing do something along that line. I think that would be a great way to bring people in. Then we would have, say, the NASCAR. NASCAR, I'd say, like, there's 20 tracks roughly, and 3 cars. 3 cars, and if they sold that for $100, or maybe even like $120, I know it's expensive, but I bet that could bring people in. Because think about it, iRacing is admittedly the best oval racing title on the market, and it is a unfortunate that you had to spend like $200, and still you have to move up the ladder to get up to that class. But ultimately, iRacing, their business model might end up hurting them in the future, I think. With the way sim racing is evolving, I think it might end up hurting them in the future. Time will tell, but who knows? Still, iRacing is a good title. It's not perfect. There are still a lot of flaws that everyone loves to point out in my review, but still, it is a top-tier racing sim title, and it'll be interesting to see how things go. It'll be interesting to see how it evolves and how it adapts to the growing competition from like Assetto Corsa Competizione, GTR 3, and future titles. But it's interesting, and it seems like for now, iRacing is still in a decent spot. Granted, week 13 is still always a wreckfest, but yeah. But for now, I am gonna call it, and I'm gonna work on building my GT Omega Pro Art, my GT Omega Art cockpit after I get some lunch. But for now, guys, thanks for watching. This has been a lot of fun, and stay tuned for future streams and videos coming soon.